but obviously we kind of got there in the end.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how are you? Are
I'm good.
you back at school now?
Yeah.
Damn,
he's been following all the stories, Johnny. So he's very intrigued by your artistic prowess. And
yeah, well,
loving. I haven't seen the app yet, really. I've only seen like the little bits that you've been sort of showing. But that 3D world that you've created is incredible. Is that available now for anyone to download and look at?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's on the App Store and the Google version as well. But yeah, we'll carry on updating it in time with new things. But what we've got already is you being painted in here. But basically, my setup while I was painting you, and you can look at it in sort of 3D form as if you're in the room. And that's something which we didn't know if it was going to be possible. But it's sort of one of two nice things that have come out of the lockdown, really. The kind of these portraits, which I wouldn't have thought of doing otherwise. I mean, it's the sort of thing where you always think, oh, it'd be nice to sort of like show more people what you do. But there was always something more urgent to do. Partly talking to you, actually, and you were being so kind of blasé about broadcasting from home with iPhones and stuff. I thought, well, I can have a go at that. And then, of course, found it was a lot more complicated than I realised.
So, I mean, so the question is, having been a traditional man in training, oil on canvas, like working from an iPad, which is obviously brilliant quality, but you're not there in the flesh.
Yeah.
The big question is, what does it look like?
Right. Well, we'll see in a second. But you're right. I think that it's interesting that actually it did change it. I'll show you the picture first, and we can discuss it. Buddy's already had a sneak preview of this, I remember.
Buddy, have you had a little sneak preview already?
In the last sitting, or the one before, when Dad went out the room, and I was sort of encouraged. I've done
he told me it was very good.
It's changed a little bit since then, Buddy, but hopefully I've kept the bits.
Jules, come and have a look. Jules!
The drama. Oh.
Let me get the wife in.
Okay, sorry everyone.
You get up so you can see. You're just about to show us.
Okay.
Say hi to Johnny. Hi, Johnny.
Oh, hi,
Hi.
Just like it's normal.
Jules and sneak preview as well. In fact, some of the people watching have done. You're the only one who hasn't seen it. One of the things which I'll work out is that actually, because of the way this is set up, it'll be reversed, which means that for you, actually, it'll probably be the version you see in the mirror. But for everyone else, it'll be the sort of wrong way round. So I might have to figure out a way of showing it. But this is...
Wow, look at that, man. Dude, you made me look way better than in real life. That's amazing.
It's exactly the same.
You think so?
I think it's exactly the same as what you look like in real life.
Wow. Johnny, that's amazing.
See?
It's a bit pink on the screen. I'm trying to work out if I...
No, but I like pink. Pink's my favourite colour. That's incredible. You even got my hair in, Johnny. You said my hair wasn't in, but the hair's in.
It was just the quiff. You were talking about your quiff so much in the last sitting and sort of styling it. I was like, damn. It's a bit late for moving it all down the canvas.
What do you reckon, Jules? Do you reckon that's...
And so different to the one you started painting years ago, obviously.
You mean in lockdown? Oh, no. Oh, well, you mean the first painting that we did?
When you were fiddling around when you first were friends. But this is just like, distinguish it. It's just, I know that's obvious, but that's amazing.
Damn. Johnny, you are so annoying. You're so talented. Oh, my God. That is amazing. But also, it doesn't just look and feel like me, which is slightly frightening. Like, the one I see in the mirror doesn't fill me with joy, but that one fills me with joy. I don't know how you do it. It must be your touch.
Well, is it what you were saying about the restrictions of doing it over on the iPad? Because actually, because it gets a bit glitchy sometimes and pixelated, actually, that's an excuse then to use the brush, a bigger brush, and make it a bit looser, which always helps this sort of kind of liveliness of the painting now. Otherwise it can get very tight if you have a very precise image, or if someone's sitting very close to you. You can get so much detail into it that it loses a bit of the sort of animation you get which is the sort of impression of someone actually being there and moving. So I feel like it's always a bit of a trade-off, but I feel if you can get that side of it into the painting without losing the kind of the detail too much, that's a good result.
It's so amazing. I don't know quite how you do it, but it's got its very own style as well. I mean, it's quite
kind of a higher you.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm thoughtful and
like a businessman. You.
Really? No, what the
Or
hell?
a stuntman you.
Yeah, that's the stuntman me. I know, I like it. It's kind of, it's a thoughtful.
Swarthy, you would say.
The thing, but from children's point of view, I mean, actually, if anyone wants to see what it looks like in reality, you could look at it online, I think, on the website and YouTube and stuff. But because that will be the right way round. So this one is flipped, and I suppose I could flip the actually I could flip the iPad around so you can see it.
Go on, flip the iPad. Flip the iPad.
Because which is a funny thing. I realised when I was showing Fern, actually, in a way, this version will probably be less familiar to you, but more to everyone else.
Honestly, Johnny, you're so clever. I'm like.
So, wait, hang on.
That's it. Turn it around. I'm going to paint you one day in return.
So that is what the painting looks like.
Yeah.
And it's.
You can see that's because that's the shadow from where I was sitting. That was. See, what I think was really nice, Johnny, in this, because this process for both of us was quite free and honest. I think it was very honest. This is what you do when you do your paintings. All right, it wasn't in person, but it was as live. I think that people think that being a genius painter is like immediate, like a photocopy, but the fact that you start off and there's layers and there's bits that get right and bits that go wrong and bits that you finesse, I think that was one of the big things for me in this process, because you kept saying that bit's not right. I'll fix it at some point.
Right. Yeah.
I think
that's I'm not sure about genius, or I'll happily accept that. But I think the thing which is it takes a while to get used to is the fact that actually it's not where you get things right that's interesting. It's where you get things a bit wrong, but in the process actually reveal something or make it more interesting than if you've been sticking to exactly what was there. And I think that's something which just, you get a sense over time of which mistakes are good ones and which ones are just mistakes.
Yeah.
But
I think that's really inspirational for people that like to draw, because sometimes if something's going a little bit pear-shaped, same with cooking, right? Sometimes you learn your biggest lessons when things are going a little bit left field, and then you bring them back on target. But I think it's amazing.
If you weren't prepared to get things wrong, you wouldn't take any risks ever, and then you wouldn't discover anything new. You've got to, you get used to the fact that as long as 1 in 4 times that you try something out that it works, then you're up for doing it. It makes it worth it.
How big is it, Johnny?
Well, you can see that I'm to scale here, so you're quite a lot larger than life.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
Not saying anything like that, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got a big old head here.
Wow. That is truly amazing. I think that's the first time I've ever had a painting started and finished. I mean, we did do one many years ago, but we never officially finished it, did we? Really?
Right. It's a nice little study, but it's very true. And actually, on the thing about the sizes, the sort of traditional way you do a painting is, the sort of like technical way is to make it sort of life size, partly because you can then measure, with your eye whether it's things are right or not. As soon as you make it smaller, perhaps, but certainly bigger, it makes it harder again for you to get the proportions easily. But then you kind of work a bit more instinctively, and so again, you think you've got to correct something that will go wrong, but it does mean you're suddenly into a whole new territory. And
look, basically, I'm going to push it now, Johnny. So it's roughly the same scale. I've got a bit of straight hair here. Let me just calm that hair. Look, it won't go. It's like an antenna. Right? Okay. Yeah.
Wow, I've given you too much hair there.
No. Well, I've had a haircut since. In fairness, I've had a haircut since. But that was in lockdown. Do you remember? Because we couldn't have haircuts.
Yeah. When you started it, exactly.
And I remember between our first and our second sitting, I developed a new method of cutting my own hair using a Dyson Hoover and a shaver. So I went quite punky for about 3 weeks, and then I forgot, and then I got worried that I'd ruined your picture.
Sounds like one of those accidents. It could have been one of those accidents they talk about in A&E for a while afterwards. But yeah, that's I think you should patent that.
Wow. I should paint it. Johnny, I am.
You lovely man.
Another
one done, and I feel now I can sort of pause on this project momentarily. I want to do some more of these, the FaceTime portraits, because it's an interesting way to work. But I might just have a month or two of just getting back to kind of normal stuff, having done this and done the app. And yeah, hopefully we can get together a bit more.
But you know, Johnny, you know what, mate? The thing is, right, what it proves is that you can still do your job. The experience of sitting was still a joy. We sat, what, 5 or 6 times?
Yeah.
And it kind of then means that if someone's halfway around the world and you both want to do it, and you can't fly, it means that there's nothing can stop you, right? And that's the beauty of technology.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we're all learning how to do things remotely, and I think, you know, like a lot of things, I wouldn't want to do the whole paintings like that, especially if I didn't know someone very well. But certainly, if it means that some of it you can do that way, and it reduces the amount we all have to travel and generally, you know, disrupt our lives, then there's, you know, there's definitely some advantage in that, especially, you know, in this current crazy world. And actually, I think in some ways, you know, always changing your routine, working routine, it always throws up interesting things. You know, you always learn something from it. I'll certainly, you know, I think I might deliberately use, you know, this method to do some of the paintings, even when I don't have to.
Yes.
Because it definitely gives you some, you know, a different way of looking at someone, which I think is really useful. So, you know, it's good. I still want to see you next to it because I never feel like completely signed off on something.
Well, just give me the date, brother, and I'll whip round on my scooter.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll do that. That'd be great. Jules is frowning. I think maybe she's noticed something I've got wrong.
No.
That's just pure concentration.
Okay, good. Well, we can talk about that anyway. But it's
Johnny, let's talk about the app, because I believe you're the first person in the world to have completely scanned their whole studio with, you know, modern technology, and then you've then filmed yourself doing these sittings that we've done, and then you've placed me as I would be on the iPad. So literally, anyone watching this can download the app, walk into your actual home, your studio, and literally 360 walk around both of us, see the perspectives, hear you talking and me talking. I mean, I think, as far as I know, that's the first time in the world that's ever happened.
That was a good description of it. It's probably better than I could do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm the first to. I mean, all those technologies do exist, but I think that what we've done is combine them in an interesting way. I certainly haven't seen anything quite like that, where you get this sort of like a version of being in the room, which you get. And by the way, it's augmented reality, but for people's phones. So anyone with a phone or iPad can have a go. Please
tell them the name, Johnny.
It's Jonathan Yo Studio app. Yeah, I can see it on the screen there. So yeah, Jonathan Yo Studio should be on the app stores. And basically, I mean, it's quite new. It's a bit of a work in progress. But the fun of it is we can now add more content and experiences. And basically, I mean, the idea was like, can we replicate how I was painting this picture on the one hand, but also how can we put some things in the studio which wouldn't be possible in real life? So the moment we got various hidden sort of videos and things which start off, but in time we can add whole, we can even do events in it, and potentially have this like virtual exhibition, do another portal, and so we'll see. I mean, I think we'll have to take a few weeks to sort of like.
And that's available on that's on iTunes, iOS, and Android.
App. Yeah, it's a free app.
And Android.
Have a go. Tell us what you think.
And it's available on Android as well.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Everyone that has seen the app, like that I work with, has just gone wow, because it's quite a visceral thing, isn't it? Because it feels like you're actually in it. And if you're really nosy, and lots of people are nosy, they can go and look at what's on the side of your tables, and hopefully there's nothing that will put you in front of the law. But it's quite good to nose around an artist's studio, isn't it, and see all the things that you use and how it all works.
Well, exactly. And to be honest, we had some clever people who helped make the studio model, because that was the sort of like a particularly specialist bit. But then what we did here in the studio, me and Rubes and Vitali, just kind of like learn how to use the computer game software and put all this stuff together in one experience, which took a bit of doing, but it's it's having mastered it a bit now. You suddenly think, well, there's all kinds of potential here, and maybe this will be how people do things in the future. And it can keep up with the new technologies. Anyway, definitely. I mean, if people want to have a go, I'd love to know what you think.
I love it.
And I want to
Well, mate, I'm so pleased and I'm so grateful for the experience. I loved it. And while we were in lockdown and things, you know, were up and down, I think a lot of people were going through lots of emotions and stuff. It was nice to tune into you for a few hours every now and again and have a little theoretical quiet time, although River did run through quite a lot.
He was such a star with his outfits. I think that's
say
what
hi,
kept people
Johnny.
watching. Hi, River. Yeah, whatever.
River, look at the painting. Look at the painting he's done. Do you like it?
No.
I love it. River doesn't like it.
Can't lie, can they? Because...
No. Oh, you gotta love kids. Oh dear.
Lovely. Well, thank you for doing it. It's been a joy. It was like therapy for me. So I don't know what I'll do now after finding someone else to sort of chat to for all these hours. But you lovely man, thank you for this. And
Thank you.
it
was a pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure. Well, listen, thank you so much, and I wish you and all the family lots of love.
Oh, and Yasmin's here. Come say hello, Yasmin.
And your lovely wife and your gorgeous daughters.
Yas, but just so to see that you know the crew. I just got Yas is here because she was the one who was my original film crew, and Rubes is here as well. It's the whole team, the lockdown team.
Oh, now you want to see
now you want to see Johnny. Now you take it back. Take it back, River.
Hi. I'll send you a picture, River, so you can have a look at it properly.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, come and say hello to River.
Look, his girls are coming.
One.
Look,
Don't be shy.
River, don't be shy.
Hi.
Look, see. Look. Girls, River, look. Say hi.
We look very pink under this light.
Oh, bless.
But lovely girl. Well, love the family. And
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Take care, mate. I love it. I think it's amazing.
You love me.
God
Thank
bless.
you. You too. Bye.
See you, mate.